Little change in plans. I actually decided to mount these last 4 panels on the side of my shop rather than up on the platforms like I have over here. What I did, and yeah, you got to pardon the wind. We got some wind going through here, and this is part of living in Texas. It's actually 90 degrees out, and it's not too bad to work out here because we got 40-mile-an-hour winds. So I have the 4 panels up here, and you can see I have that back board on hinges over there, so this will actually come down. I have these legs on hinges, and I have them anchored to these T-posts right now. This is just temporary. I'm going to get a bolt that, like a shaft or a bolt that'll go through there and lock it down a little bit better, down lower too. This was just temporary, but I figured the wind kicked up, and I figured I better find a way to secure this thing before it blows over the shop. And same thing with this one here. I just anchored it down on a T-post. I pounded into the ground, and I just kind of temporarily tied everything up there. But this whole unit can fold down so it'll lay flat up against the shop. So in case we get a bad storm or hail or something coming through there, I can protect it at least 75% rather than just getting pummeled with hail. So yeah, I just got that strung across there and back inside. I was just hooking some stuff up here, and I realized I was going to show you guys something before I got it all hooked up. See if I can get in there. I mean, this Growatt, if you look at it, it has your vents on the side, on the bottom, the other side, and there's this top is solid, but in back of this unit there's actually vents on the back side. Now they do have, I don't know if you can see it on here, but it's like a stepped bracket, and the same thing with the mounting for the screws, and it gives you about maybe a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an inch between the unit and the wall. I'm just a classic audiophile kind of guy. I grew up with, in the Silverface era where all the amplifiers and everything ran hot, and heat kills electronics. So my advice, and I actually guilty of not reading their instructions, but this I would definitely want some sort of wall airspace just to where it can flow evenly behind her. Even up in here on this board going across, I popped heat holes in there. But as you can see, we're moving along. Yeah, and it's on the subject of heat, and these it's getting warmer down here now, and it's probably 80 something in the garage. And earlier in the day, I when I had gotten home from work, this was running about 250. And the fan was kicking on and off on this one, and I measured the temp. I mean, even at 150, this is warm. I mean, this is very warm. I think I'm going to put some external fans on here, because you figure if I'm only pushing 250, 300 watts into this one, what's going to happen when I start going up to 600 watts on these? And so I'm going to see what I can come up with for some fans. Yeah, I seen some stuff online that runs off and just, where I could mount something underneath these and just blow up. And they actually have a temperature probe where I could just put it on one. Obviously, if one's getting hot, they're both getting hot. And same thing with down there. I think I'm just going to end up putting it on this one, and when it goes on, and it'll just turn on all three fans to keep it warm, or keep it cooler. And what I'm going to do is, what I started doing is, and now I just hooked this up temporarily over here with this Growatt. I actually ran you know, just an outlet, 15 amp outlet over here. And yeah, I know I have a fuse in there just so I know I won't blow myself up. And I'm going to see about running these fans off of the battery for the grow watt during the day. And so basically it's really not costing me anything to run the fans extra, because the grow watt's just sitting here for backup power, keeping the battery charged. So I'm just using solar that's really not being used other than to keep the battery charged. So it's not taking anything away from down there. So yeah, I just hooked that up, and it's kind of cool because now I have, actually, every time we lose power, I have to reset my old digital clock because I'm too cheap to put a 9-volt battery in it. So I should never have to reset that anymore until I turn off the grow watt. I had the stereo on before. I mean, this is, like I say, I'm in a vintage audio, and oh yeah, this is a beast. I turn this on, and you know, that's like 3 amps all by itself. And then I got my Makita battery charger. I'm going to bring my Milwaukee battery charger out here too and plug that in. And I mean, right now, pretty much from me, it's just free power that I either got to pull it from the grid or just use solar. So I figure I'm just going to start using solar. Hi. Yeah, as you can see, we have a really cloudy day here in Texas, and it's actually cool. It's like 50-60 degrees this morning, so I figured it was going to be a good day to run this harness that I made up. As you can see, I plan on taking it up into the attic over here, and I actually have to go about 100 feet that way. So you don't want to be up in the attics when in Texas when the sun is out and you have a steel roof on your house. It tends to hit about 120, 140 degrees up there. So I think today's a good day to do this. I have my wife lined up. She's going to come out here and make sure none of this knots up on me as I'm pulling it through over to the breaker box. And as you can see, I got myself paid I think it was $9 or something from Amazon. Just get yourself a Tyvek suit. We have some. This house was built in 1983, 84, something like that. So everything that's up in the attic is nasty, itchy. I've been up there only once before, and yeah, it's bad. So I'll spend the $10 for the Tyvek suit, and I will throw it away after I'm done. And this one even here has a hood on it too, which is totally awesome, and it came with a mask. Who can ask for more? Yeah, thank goodness that's done with. I got them pulled through. I don't have them in the shop yet. They're out here and just hanging outside the eave, but yeah, none too soon. You can see, yeah, the clouds are starting to break up and it's starting to become sunny out here, and I still have to run them into the shop, but I have them coming out over here. I'm just gonna kind of run them and just kind of temporarily put them up and run them through here and bring them into the shop. But just going to show you, I'm pretty impressed with those panels I got from Santan Solar to Trina. I don't know how you pronounce it, but as overcast as it is right now, and it's 9:30 in the morning, you can see they're doing 230, between 200 and 300 watts power they're putting out, which I actually was kind of surprised. That's 4 panels right now is running that. It's 4 panels. As soon as the sun comes out, I'll have to put it back on the 2 panel, that lower inverter over there. I'm running this top one right now because I'm just doing some stuff with that one. And in here, this is a closet, one of our bedrooms, because they don't do basements here in Texas. So you can see I have the cabling dropping down. There's through the same hole as the 100 amp service they ran here for me. Here's ran, and yes, I did run 4. I should need no more than 2 of these at the most, but as as long as I was up there doing this, I ran 4. And yes, I do have them labeled blue, red, green, yellow, same on the other end. Also wanted to show, I've been doing a little bit more work over here, still not done. I still don't have the solar panel output coming in here. Right now I have the two panels just keeping the battery charged up. So I didn't do this part yet, but yeah, these got to come over here. These are going to come back around and come back in that way once this is done. But I do have it up here pretty much where this one isn't there yet. There's no solar panels for this one, where I can turn it on for those inverters. Over there are the grid ties, or off and on for the grow watt. So all the power will then from this array will go into the grow watt. This one's set up the same way, where all the power from this one will either go there, or both. And this one here right now is just an on-off. That goes down to the one down there. So I do want to get these all where if I tell them to, I can have all the solar panels, all 3 these arrays, plus this one down here, will all feed into the grow watt. Because it's roughly about between, I forget what I came up with, it's between 2 and 2,500 watts coming into the grow watt, which is perfectly capable of doing that. And that way, should we lose power, I'm keeping the battery charged up, sun's out, I'm powering the house with the solar power. Night comes, we're running off battery, economize. And I also set up, well, there's a breaker down there, and then there's these here are just mainly, I'm using these 2 breakers as on and off switches. So yeah, that's why I have the fuses in there, because yeah, I just use those because I had them. They're actually 60 amp breakers, and yeah, they're too big because that's 10 gauge wire coming in there. I mean, they would work if for a spike or something like that, but over a long term, you know, a 50 amp draw, they're not going to trip, and it will start getting them wires awfully hot. So little update over there.